Kane, at the end of the last episode, you said that you were going to give me a present, and this big red box showed up at my door. Is this you?
Yes, sir, it is.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what it is. We were talking about how much I loved Black Christmas and how I'm keen to rewatch it again, so, I'm excited. Can I unwrap it?
Yeah, dude, go, please. I want to see your reaction.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Do you like it?
Well, I guess it is Black Christmas.
Yeah, it's Black Christmas, but it's better. I didn't want to get you the old one. I wanted to get, like, this one it's new, improved. It's from 2006, so you know it is, a state of the art.
Oh, but it's not the Black Christmas.
Yeah, but, now we got Black Christmas at home.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Here's the first movie.
Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Peel that pig and slice him thick.
The body count is always bigger.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
The fucking trees walked in those movies.
Hi, doggy.
What a story, Mark.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled.
It's just like your opinion, man.
Life moves pretty fast.
If you want your sequel to become a franchise.
37 dicks.
In a row?
I'm your number one fan.
G'day, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another episode of Marathon Me with your host, Kane.
And Rhys.
And today, we're opening up our second present of the Christmas season. We're talking about Black Christmas again. Well, in some ways, quite literally, because we are talking about the first Black Christmas remake from the year of our Lord 2006. Rhys.
Yeah. I realized that we didn't really explain that much in the first episode, so there's actually not really a massive franchise or, like, continuation of Black Christmas. It's just this trilogy of 3 remakes. So,
yeah, pretty much.
Last week we did 1974, this week we're doing Black Christmas 2006, and then we'll finish it off with the newest, the most improved, the 2019 version.
Yeah, you know what? In a way, though, I think this is actually a pretty interesting little mini series that we're doing, because we get to see Black Christmas through the lens of different eras, different decades. We got to see the Black Christmas through the lens of the mid 70s. Now we get to see it through the eyes of 2006 during the big boom of horror remakes, and also horror films that include high intensity blood and gore, which is going to be interesting.
Yes, 2006 is such a freaking moment for horror. Not really in the way of, like, that it was, like, horror was amazing at this point, but it's like the horror remake was hot at this moment.
Oh, yeah. This follows in the footsteps of films like Saw, Hostel, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake from 2003. This is, like, those films, they were kind of what would eventually pave the way for what horror films would become for, like, the better half of a decade. For, like, the entire 2000s, it was nothing but remakes and high-intensity blood and gore. And, a lot of the times, you'd mix the two together and you'd get some interesting results. And we had to talk about yet another fucking remake. Woohoo! Let's do it, boys!
How funny that the last horror remake that we discussed was The Omen, which was 2006.
Yes. Oh my god, damn, man. All right, well, hey, here's hoping that this will be a bit of a better experience than The Omen 2006 at the very least. Hopefully it gives us something.
My fingers are crossed. It's also coming from Dimension. The studio that gave us Spy Kids, a bunch of pretty much all of Rob Zombie's catalog, brought us Friday the 13th, the remake.
Damn straight. A lot of bangers, obviously, a lot of banger horror films, Spy Kids being one of them with the creepy hands, and Alan Cumming with the horrifying makeup. Ugh. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know about the gooning scenes in that movie, but, I guess Robert Rodriguez was really taking his French extremity fandom to a whole new level there. Ugh,
if there's someone that knows exploitation, it's Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, I mean, it was an exploitation in our patience when watching Planet Terror, so, you know what? Fair enough, honestly.
Do you like this sort of... I think that there's a bit of you strike me as someone that has a bit of a soft spot for this era of maybe not flawless horror filmmaking, but it's got its own vibe, without a doubt.
Oh, yes, I definitely have because a lot of the films of this era I grew up with. A lot of my first exposures to a lot of famous horror franchises, like your Fridays, your Halloweens, your Texas Chainsaws, my introductions were from these remakes. So as I got older, you know, obviously I knew that they weren't exactly beloved or praised, and you know, a lot of them were downright awful. But I always just had such a soft spot for like the way that they were made, and like just how they capture the times, and like the attitudes of people, and like how the characters are written. They're not written great, but they are written in a very 2000s style, which it's not pleasant to watch, but it is fascinating, and I get a kick out of it. But does Black Christmas 2006 follow that trend? Well, you just have to find out right after the trailers, ladies and gents.
15 years ago, on Christmas Eve, his family became his victims.
What have you done?
Now,
all roads and airports are officially closed. This one is not gonna let up.
a group of college friends
That sucks. Everyone should be home for Christmas.
are about to discover
Lauren, we're opening up presents.
Why don't you open the present we got you?
their house
I got it.
is his home.
All is calm, all is bright. Who is in my house tonight?
Don't you have lots of toys to deliver to good little boys and girls? You really shouldn't provoke somebody like that.
And on December 25th,
You're definitely getting punked.
Is that Santa's reindeer?
all he wants for Christmas
Is Megan in her room?
is a new family he can treat like his very own.
So we spoke a little bit about the director Bob Clark of the last Black Christmas movie, but this one, it's made in 2006, so it's more than 30 years after the original. So you can't really expect that it's going to be the same director.
No.
And instead, it's this dude named Glenn Morgan. Have you heard of Glenn Morgan?
I have not heard of Glenn Morgan, unless he was a character in Dexter that I don't remember, like a long lost relative. I'm not familiar.
True. Well, he's only directed one other movie other than this Black Christmas remake.
Right,
and it's
okay.
the movie, the remake of Willard.
What?
Yeah,
No,
with Crispin Glover.
Oh, the rat, the fucking where he plays the weird rat incel or whatever it is.
Where he plays essentially like the Pied Piper in like a modern day.
Oh, it is that movie. Oh my god,
It's that movie, yeah.
I've always wanted to watch that, man. Oh my god.
Oh, I know, and I tried to prepare myself for this episode by watching it, but I could not find it anywhere. It was another Silent Night, Deadly Night sequel situation where it was just impossible to find. But you would know that Glenn Morgan, he wrote and produced the first and third Final Destination films.
Oh my god, actual?
Yeah, so, you know, he is, like, present in the sort of lexicon of horror canon, as well as 2000s horror canon.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna say that explains Mary Elizabeth Winstead in this movie then.
Yeah, but then pretty much he did nothing else after 2006.
Damn.
That's pretty much the last thing that he's done, really, according to my research.
I mean, he might. I mean, like from what I know, or from what I've heard, yeah, nothing else. But you know, hopefully he went out with a bit of a bang. You know, like maybe this is like an Eyes Wide Shut scenario. You know, that being Kubrick's last movie, and that's pretty beloved. So yeah, maybe we're in for that kind of scenario here.
His sophomore and final effort, just really ending with a bang before even really starting.
Exactly.
But then there's one other name that stood out to me in the opening credits of this movie as the film started, that got me excited, is that this film is produced by modern horror icon James Wong.
James Wan or James Wong?
James Wong. Not James Wan. James Wong.
Yes,
And-
the director of not Shark Night 3D. Fucking Final Destination. Sorry, I was thinking of the other director of Final Destination. Shit.
Well,
yes,
but
Final Destination guy. Woo!
Director of Final Destination 1 and 3, as well as Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh my god, I forgot
Yep.
he directed that.
And
Wow.
I just found it so funny that this would have cock teased, especially in 2006, where Saw is very fucking popular. It just fucking broke the scene. And people see James Wong, fucking one letter off, modern horror icon. I think this would have confused a lot of people, gotten a lot of people interested and excited for this film, and got them in the movie theater seats.
Definitely.
And let's just picture this. You've just been... You like the original Black Christmas, as you do. You like and know the skill and horror prowess that James Wan has. And you sit down to watch Black Christmas 2006. Kane, what do you think when watching this movie?
Well, do you mind if I tell a little bit of a story, Reese, before I give my thoughts and feelings?
Anecdote away, my friend.
Alrighty, well, basically, this was actually kind of a special movie for me to come to because this is one of those horror movies that I always wanted to watch when I was younger. I remember reading the plot synopsis on Wikipedia, I think when I was like 12, because I used to do that a lot with horror movies, because we had slow internet, and half the time all I could really do was just read about horror movies. So I read about this and I was like, this looks extreme. This is like the craziest movie I've ever heard of. I need to find this. And I spent years, every now and again, trying to find this film. Could not find it for the life of me. It'd be on no sites, and then when it was, it'd be in a foreign language. And because I would just give up easy when I was a young lad, I was just like, all right, well, I guess one day I'll find it. Couldn't find it on DVD, nowhere to be found. And then, eventually, when we came to doing these Black Christmas movies, I was like, okay, now's finally the time. And it literally took me 5 minutes to find this online through completely legal methods. So, I finally got to achieve my childhood dream of watching Black Christmas 2006. And, boy... it is something else. It is interesting. And not in the good way, either.
Interesting is definitely a word to describe this. Definitely an interesting pick for your white whale film that you've been tracking down since you were a child. And I'm all I can say to young Kane is I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you harpooned your white whale, got it up. You fucking got all the boys came to help you to come and drag the corpse of this thing onto your ship, and that white whale ended up not being a white whale. It was instead a giant bag of poo.
Yeah, exactly. Oof. I guess I can assume your opinion is not on the positive side, Reese. Am I correct?
This movie's a piece of shit. This movie is not good. It is awful.
I fucking knew that you were going to hate this.
It's a fucking joke. Okay, one thing that I immediately hit me is that this is a film that has no patience. It's a horror film with no patience. It doesn't leave a second of quiet or emptiness to let tension build, because instead it just fucking throws everything at the wall with not a second to slow down.
Completely.
The opening scene alone can't keep a single shot on screen for more than 2 seconds.
Oh no, definitely. And then we get like our first kill, which is just like sloppily, ham-fistedly edited together, and then boom, just quick title card within the first 30 seconds. I literally have my first note for this movie was just, wow, okay, this is an abrupt start. What the fuck is going on?
this whole it's not just an abrupt start, it's an abrupt movie in every way. It is just fucking awkward. It's shockingly edited, and the editor of this film has only edited a few films, which is Final Destination 3, so a lot of destination with Final Destination 3 for some weird reason.
Oh yeah.
Also coming out in 2006, so very like they must have been fucking making these on the same lot side by side.
Completely. I mean, I feel bad for Mary Elizabeth Winstead having to go from set to set.
All of
my days.
They could have carpooled together. Most of the people working on this film, well as Dragon Ball Evolution in a few years later in 2009. He also edited that.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Now, for the record, I've actually never watched the full of Dragon Ball Evolution, but I am very aware. I've watched a lot of videos on that movie, and so I basically have seen it, and like that is shocking. Just like this movie, shocking.
It is a shockingly cut together film.
If we wanna, I guess we might as well start with like filmmaking, since you've already kind of delved into it. Is that this is a very ugly movie.
Oh my god!
Now, initially, I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, because I will say that I actually kind of enjoyed what they were going for. With the original movie, a lot of the it's very natural lighting, natural colors kind of thing. It's very drab, kind of giving us very, creepy, dark, foreboding atmosphere. With this, it's like they just saw all the Christmas lights in the background in the original movie, and they're like, you know what? Let's have that be our lighting and just oversaturate the fuck out of it. This is
oh my god,
so like the colors are insane with this movie, and we'll talk about a certain color pigment, skin pigment later on.
They don't just saturate the fucking environments, they saturate the characters.
Exactly. No, but I will say that I kind of liked especially during the flashback sequences to our main antagonist's childhood. I enjoyed it, but and I think this is a great way to sum this movie up for me, is that I enjoyed it, but it got old really fast. Really, really fast.
I thought first 20 minutes, I'm like, maybe this is a so bad it's good. And then the rest, nope, this is just so bad. This is just a fucking joke. This is just a joke of a movie. How did Mary Elizabeth Winstead fucking sign up for this? What agent did this?
I mean, look, to give us some credit. I mean, this is like pretty like early on in her career, from what I recall. This is pre Scott Pilgrim versus the World, before she became a household name. So she was primarily known as like as like a horror actress kind of thing. And like it's also very surprising when watching this, is that she's not the final girl in this movie. While watching it, I'm like, oh, she's for sure gonna live, and then dies halfway through. Off screen as well, funny enough, and I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. I mean, again, like, she wasn't a household name, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, oh, all right, well, you got rid of one of the capable actresses. All right, that's fine. Oh, actually, no, I don't want to shade the actresses too much. They're doing what they can with a very, very piss poor script. You have Michelle Trachtenberg, who was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer when she was younger. She had an established career. We also have the original voice actress of Meg Griffin in this film as well, as one of the girls.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Lacey Chabert is in this movie, and I had to search it up because I remember like hearing her voice, and I was like, why does that sound familiar? And then it's like season 1 Meg Griffin, before Mila Kunis came and took over the role.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I know. It's funny that like a lot of these behind the scenes aspects are more interesting than the actual film itself.
Read the Wikipedia page and you'll have more fun than watching this film.
Completely.
I think you just got to be really fucking drunk or high to enjoy this, and I was neither. I was stone cold sober. I also like kept on thinking in this watch that that fucking what's her name? That Jennifer Love Hewitt was in it, even though that she wasn't. Like, I don't know who it was that I thought was Jennifer Love Hewitt, but I felt like that she would have made sense in this movie. But
right, okay.
But she wasn't. I think maybe I was mistaking her with Lacey Chabert,
Lacey Chabert.
Chabert. who's in like Mean Girls and like things like that. Like you recognize her face. Maybe that's what I was getting it confused with. But it felt like a movie that she should be in. And
you know what? If they made a 90s Black Christmas remake, Jennifer Love Hewitt would have been in that straight away. Yes, definitely.
True. Another potentially familiar face is Oliver Hudson, who is from Rules of Engagement. I guess he's in this, and he plays like the sort of like red herring evil boyfriend thing. But then there's no real room for a red herring in this movie because you fucking know that this is a mythological weird creature that is hunting after them. Like there's no maybe it's Oliver Hudson. It's not. It never makes you think that.
Since you're bringing up red herrings, so we want there's not just him as the red herring. We have another for one scene a red herring with the quote unquote weird girl in the dormitory.
What the fuck?
Yes, I know, right? With that awkward, all right. So basically, for those who haven't seen the movie, we get introduced to our cast, and later on, we're introduced to this one girl who's quote unquote the weird girl because she's filmed with a fisheye lens and she's wearing big bottle cap glasses and has her hair tied back. And they're all like, "Oh, she's a weirdo." We don't get a reason why. They just don't like her, and she's weird. And she's only there to be a red herring, and also to gift the glass unicorn that was in the original movie. That's it. And then she's just forgotten about for the rest of the movie until she's dead. That's it.
Yeah. So her name's Eve, and why do they try and make her so scary? Why? It doesn't make any sense.
You know what? You know what it is? It's because it's 2006, and if you have your hair tied back, and if you're wearing glasses, you're a weirdo. Okay, that was just the style at the time.
Sure. I guess so.
They wanted to scare. Look, I'm giving this movie too much fucking credit, but 2006, the 2006 horror audience would see a girl like that and be like, "Oh, ugly. Okay, I bet she's the killer. I bet she's crazy. Ew."
Ugly Betty and its height of popularity at this point. I think it was around this time. Maybe it was a little bit late. 2006 is when Ugly Betty was around. So I guess people really like to laugh at ugly girls with glasses and braces and shit.
I mean, like I said, Rhys, the 2000s were a great time for cruelty and pointing and laughing at people who look different.
Yeah. Oh, also, just a really quick side note: it's thundering and raining here at the moment. So I wonder. There's a little part of me that's like, oh no, I hope the microphone doesn't pick up on it, but. Maybe I hope it does. Very immersive for talking about this terrifying movie right now.
Terrifying in the aspect of that. I was terrified that this movie would go on any longer.
Thank God that it is 90 minutes. Thank fuck for 90-minute movies, dude.
Look, thank fuck for that. But all I'll say is that boy howdy, this was a long 90 minutes. It was a very
my God.
long 90 minutes.
And even though that, everything's so quick in it, there's so much that, and it shoves a hell of a lot more plot into this movie than the original Black Christmas, with the original being a longer film.
Yeah.
But it just is, it's just get the fuck on with it, please.
Oh, no, you go first?
I thought the third act sort of sped up a little bit more because it got to such ridiculous heights that I was almost like, I'm just now on the water slide.
Right.
But we get a lot of extra backstory in this movie, right?
Yes, we do. And I think that's actually a perfect cue to discuss the main man in this movie. You want to start off for this, Rhys?
Let's bring up the Simpsons character in the room. So
yes.
So Billy, the killer, the same killer as in the first film. It's very, very much like a spiritual remake in that it pretty much remakes and translates everything from the original film, only adds a little bit more context, really.
Yeah, they're basically pulling a Rob Zombie's Halloween by giving this killer a lot more time in the limelight and a lot more explanation.
Yeah, but Billy is no longer just a crazed man that ends up in their attic. He's escaped from a mental institution. He breaks out by killing a horny Santa, which also, just have to say too, when he kills this horny Santa and gets out of the mental institution, then he's like, he takes his fucking suit and then puts the dead body in the Santa sack that he's walking through the hospital with a severed human arm hanging out of this sack. How does no one see this? This is not subtle in the slightest. How does he get past with all this shit?
Because Rhys, it was supposed to, because they wanted to include a cheap Silent Night, Deadly Night reference in it.
And then he doesn't even stay in the suit for the rest of the movie.
Oh, no.
You think maybe
it was so stupid.
Yeah. Oh my god. But that's just the fucking. That's the freaking surface. That's barely even scrapes the surface.
Iceberg. Yeah.
Because this movie humanizes Billy way too much. It's like
my days.
You see his fucking from his birth to his fucking where he is now, pretty much jumping like 3 or 5 years at a time.
Yeah.
And the way that we know that this is Billy in all these flashbacks is that the small, subtle, indistinct, ominous and mysterious yellow tinge of his skin in the first movie, they turn it up to fucking 11 in this movie. And, it's full on Sin City material now, where he glows. He glows in the frame, this ridiculous saturated yellow, and he's a fucking cartoon character now.
Yeah, quite literally. He literally is a cartoon. He literally is a live-action cartoon character in the way he looks, and even in the acts that he commits, especially during like his first kills, like absolute ridiculous cartoon antics, man. Oh my days.
It really, really is. Like where the first film is this really like quite intense, terrifying, weighty horror movie where you're almost like, here's the complete their most distinct contrast between these two films, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Is that in the first film it builds up a tension to a point that even though that you're strapped into a horror movie and you are expecting kills, you sort of don't want to see these people get killed. And the film positions you in such a way to not want to see that.
Yeah, which is like one of the biggest compliments we gave the original Black Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Where in this one, it is all making you thirst to see these people killed, essentially.
Yes, that is like the main. That's one of the main draws of like obviously a lot of horror films at the time, obviously with like the torture porn genre, but with this, it is actively reveling in the absolute bonkers blood and gore that is on showcase here. And when I say bonkers, it is like turned up to 11. There is one of the first kills in this movie is that he beats his mother. Sorry, spoiler alert, guys, for a movie that's like over 20, that's like I think like nearly 20 years old. But beats his mother with a rolling pin, and then proceeds to cut her flesh with cookie cutters and bake them and eat them.
This is the dumbest thing. This is the dumbest thing I've seen in my fucking life.
I remember as a kid. Sorry to interrupt, but I remember as a kid, I thought that was the coolest shit ever. I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy."
Yeah, that's who this would be cool for. 11-year-olds.
Yeah, no,
11-year-olds, and that's
it. I agree. No, I agree. Right, but I'll give the film this: is that for at least for the for some of the opening acts of violence, I was so just taken aback by just like how like gratuitous it was. It was like at least in some ways enjoyable. However, after the mother's death and we keep getting more and more gratuitous just brutality, like I said before, it gets so old so fast to the point where it's just null and void. The one thing that this film was trying to have going for it, with its over-the-top, unflinching violence, it loses its novelty and just becomes boring. And that is that is a failure on itself. If you're making your over-the-top violence boring, like you've done something wrong. You fucked up, Glenn Morgan.
When there's so much going on and it's so ridiculous, but you still make it boring.
It's insane.
And you know what? There's not even just one killer in this. There's two. There's Agnes Agnes, who guess who Agnes is? Agnes is Billy's fucking son, who was conceived by his mum raping him as a child.
Yes.
And also, he's a cannibal.
This bit. Yes.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I was very, Rhys, were you at all aware that there was incest and rape in this movie?
I did not think that Billy was a freaking incest rape victim. My jaw was on the floor.
And that Agnes is his fucking sister daughter type shit.
What the fuck? Also, just the idea is a little bit insulting, right? Of like taking this character that's like a threatening, awful, disgusting rapist in the first movie,
and then
in this remake,
the victim.
In this remake, being like, maybe he was raped, and that's why he's a rapist. We should really feel sorry for him.
It's fucking ludicrous. I love this. I love this contrast with us.
You know what?
Oh my
sorry.
God. No, I was just the contrast of like how seriously we took like the threat of Billy in the first one, and then he's like the fear of like what he's going to do to this woman is so fucking nefarious and fucked up, and then with this one it's like but like what if we made him the victim? Days.
How much different, and the different levels of groundedness and believability of like the antagonist of the first Black Christmas being like, ooh, this is a person that could like sexually assault me, terrifying, compared to the antagonist in this one. Ooh, this is someone that could kill me and then make cookies out of my skin to eat. What?
Wait. You forget. Or eat their eyeballs, Rhys.
Or eat my eyeballs. With a glass of milk. Because it's Christmas.
Exactly, guys. Merry Christmas. Santa don't want no cookies this year.
And also, it's gonna be your fucking skin. Like this, it also like it makes him a lot closer as well to Michael Myers in the way that that Billy just sort of wants to get home for the holiday. That's Billy's entire sort of like motivation in this. And then it seems like he doesn't care about his home really at the end, because then he just goes back to a hospital anyway to chase the final girl.
I mean, a man's had to finish what he started. I mean, who knows? Maybe if they made a sequel to this, they would have revealed that the final girl was his adopted sister. You don't know. Yeah,
exactly. Maybe.
But we never got that. It's really funny that this film is so heavily focused on this killer that did not need a backstory, and showing a very lengthy backstory trying to humanize this inhuman person, because literally the next fucking year Rob Zombie would literally do that with Michael Myers.
True.
I would say better, like a watchable results. I haven't seen the movie in years, but watchable results I can at least say.
I quite like the Rob Zombie Halloween remake, so I'm a big defender of that film.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
To overall like critical like fucking panning. Yeah. And you know what? Like it really takes all the effective elements of the original Black Christmas and decides to do the opposite of what made them successful.
What do you mean by that, Rhys?
Is that it's like, okay, so the whole ambiguity of this character of Billy, the grounded ambiguity of him. Most people that are victims to horrible acts of assault and all these sort of things, acts of violence, they don't know the backstory of this person. They're just a fucking... They're not even a face. They're not a human. They are a pair of hands and... Yeah, a pair of fucking hands and eyes.
Force of evil, yeah.
Yeah. Where this, it didn't really need to fucking humanize that then and make it into a big, scary, Simpsons-esque, yellow-skinned monster? No, it didn't.
Oh my days.
It didn't.
A yellow fucking Simpsons monster with who just wants to bring his family together. Like he just wants to
he's a real Real family man.
He's a real family guy. Exactly.
You know, one thing that can't be said about this guy is he ain't a bad dad.
Oh,
you know,
God.
he's a really dedicated father. This man.
No, honestly, yeah. Big ups, Billy 2006, man. You know, I also, I just want to say this as well. Is that like
take that, Dad?
With all this being said as well, it's just like. Ignoring the fact that like even if his skin just wasn't yellow and they actually made him look like a regular human, he just looks goofy to me. He doesn't look scary at all. Even ignoring the yellow skin, he just looks goofy as fuck to me. Whenever I'm seeing him, and he's just making these like really over the top angry faces. He's trying way too hard, man.
Oh,
like, Billy,
yeah.
Tone it down, mate. Your predecessor could scare the pants off of audiences and the Marathon Me boys with just a shot of his eye, and you're doing way too much, son.
Yeah. I think that the design of Agnes is more scary, is more off-putting than the design of...
I didn't care for it. I mean, off-putting, sure, but like... I didn't care for it. It didn't do anything for me. At least with Billy, I at least remember him. It's terrible, but I remember him at least.
Well, at the point where Agnes is revealed to be alive and well, and also a murdering person in the attic, I'm completely checked out at this point anyway, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, okay, there's another one. So another fucking villain antagonist has to be killed and die before this movie wraps up. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. I wrote here in my notes that around this sort of the halfway point, I just hardcore lost interest, and this was just a fucking white nutrient paste of a film. Yeah. Just nothing, just fucking empty. Oh my! And then I started to get really angry and started yelling at the TV when the mum suggests to go to the police. Yes, just leave. Just leave this house.
Don't you love that? You had like the group literally like at odds with each other, whether or not to leave the house. Like, don't you just love that, Rhys? Defying all logic.
And I think it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead that is like, no, we must stay for our sisters. And then in the next 5 minutes, several of them die. Several of them. So you don't even have 5 minutes to think, you know what? Maybe they chose the right thing. No, you immediately are like, you idiots. You had the chance to leave. Oh my God.
Rhys. Okay, I can see you're getting fired up right now. Okay, I can see that. I can see this. We're entering chipmunk territory right now, where I've tortured you with yet another film. But I want to try to bring a bit of a positive spin right now, because I feel like there's a lot of negativity. Is there anything you genuinely liked or / enjoyed in this film?
Some cool kills. I think that they did sort of like... I think that there were moments of fun to be had with the ridiculously of the kill. Like the ice skate kill, that's quite fun.
That is genuinely like one of the best kills in the movie. Like, and this was during the late point in the movie where I too was like completely checked out. Like once we got the halfway point, I'm just like, I don't care anymore. I'm bored. I'm so bored. But the ice skate kill brought me back a little bit. But then completely bored. Is there anything else apart from some neat kills?
No, I don't think a single thing.
Right. Well, I will say
there wasn't a sequel. How about
you? Again, there were some neat kills, and I do get a kick out of the 2000s horror remake gore fest sheen to it all. The characters are all mean-spirited and assholes, and it's all very just, there's no subtlety whatsoever, and I get a kick out of it for a while. Because if there's because at least with something like the Friday the 13th remake, it had that 2000s horror remake vibe. But I enjoyed the characters. I thought I enjoyed the cinematography. I think the editing is competent. And then with this, it just does nothing for you. I will say that one of my favorite things, but also probably one of the worst things, personally, in my opinion, in this film, is the references to the original Black Christmas. Whenever they make an overt reference to the original Black Christmas, whether it be the phone call, the unicorn kill, or the plastic bag, which also, the plastic bag only happens once in the original to the first victim. They do it so many times in this. That is like their main fucking weapon in this movie, and it is
like the game Manhunt. All of a sudden,
Exactly, and it is. I literally said to myself while watching the film, I'm like, "This is so fucking cheap." Oh my, this is like, this is some of the most. These are some of the most cheapest fucking references I'm ever seeing in a horror, in just a remake in general. This is just pathetic.
I agree with you, man. I was so fucking checked out that I'm like. Like, I'm not getting offended at this movie by those things because it was already so just like emotionally absent. Like I don't even relate this film to the original.
Yeah.
Like I don't even the thread is dead, but between this and the original. There's something that I find really dumb as well in like sometimes horror movies where there's like these killers going around. There's this kill in this movie with like an icicle that just falls off of off of a house and impales like this the old lady character, I think. And this kill has nothing to do with the killers, which makes me just think like the world just wants these characters dead. So it doesn't really matter. They can get away from the killers, but they're just gonna fucking find a way to make these people die anyway. But you know what? Really shows the shared DNA between this and Final Destination, right?
You fucking beat me to it, man. I was literally like itching. I was waiting for you to finish so I could just spit that out. But you beat me to it, mate. Congrats.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to get like snap before you got it.
No. Of course. No, that makes complete sense.
Also, something that just makes you not root for any of these characters is in these 2000s horror movies, you follow this friend group that you just think, these aren't friends. None of these people like each other. So why are they even here bothering to spend time with each other? And then there's these moments of like fucking shit goes down and then there's a character that's like, we can't leave our friends. Let's go into this potentially life-threatening situation to save our friends that we care and love. Yeah. And it's like, you don't even fucking like these people. You're just all mean to each other. And it's like that... Like, you know, something like Friday the 13th, the remake, that, you know, I think it sort of works sometimes where you really, like, you have fun hating these characters, but you just think none of you like each other.
Completely agree, man. Completely agree.
Yeah, so none of them felt human. Maybe everyone was just very mean in America in the 2000s. Post-90s, post-people getting a bit rough, no one really liked each other anymore. Where everyone's becoming progressive, but they have this understanding of human beings that they're not progressive yet. And maybe there's just a lot of hostility between interpersonal relationships in culture at that time. Maybe that's it.
That's definitely a point to be made, yeah.
Or maybe it's lazy writing where they don't understand human beings. Maybe that's it.
I think you might be hitting the nail on the head, Rhys. I reckon, or hitting the icicle on the head.
Oh yeah, exactly. Icicle right on the eyeball.
Love it.
Are you happy for us to sort of talk about the ending and the hospital climax?
Yes, of course. It sucks. I don't care about it at all. It is so fucking sloppy and. Also, we didn't. Hang on. All right. So I was already checked out when we got to the hospital stuff, and I actively got angry when I don't remember her name, but it was like the older woman in the group. So they try to create some emotional moments, like an emotional arc in this movie with the middle-aged woman that comes to their house looking for her sister, who was the first victim of this movie, and eventually it comes to it comes to a conclusion where my real sister's dead, but this whole sorority, they're all my sisters, and I have a new family, blah 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 blah. Like, we have a scene of her in the final girl in the hospital where she gives her the watch that she was supposed to give to her sister or some crap, and it's like, okay, cool, I don't care, but like, all right, cool, good for you guys. And then what do you know? One scene later, she gets like the worst death in the movie, which is a cheap neck snap. Like, what the fuck was that? I was like, all right, you know what? I don't care, but you know what? You tried at least. Okay, that's fine. And like the actress was, you know, she was convincing enough. You know, it's fine. And then I'm like, okay, what the fuck was the point of all that?
Are you talking about Andrea Martin, who is in the original Black Christmas?
No. Andrea Martin was the one that played the house mother that gets killed by the icicle.
Okay, yes. I was okay, perfect. Because you're talking about Kristen Cloak, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
I felt that the way that she was introduced is that it felt like that they were introducing her as a legacy character as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I literally did research after this. I was like, is she in this? Is she like the final girl from the original? And it wasn't. I was like, oh, okay. What the fuck was? What's the point?
It's the zoom that they do on her as she comes up, and it's like a reveal, like you've been waiting for me or something. Yeah. And but it's not. It had like a sort of Tommy Jarvis sort of feel to it.
Legit, man. Legit.
This is like this woman. She's encountered Billy before, and she knows what to do. But then, no, she doesn't have any relevance.
Oh, my days. I mean, the only relevance she has is to create some unneeded emotional beat and then just kill her in the cheapest way possible. Have it serve basically no fucking points.
Yeah. None of these characters have like a character arc climax that feels relevant or satisfying in any way. No one feels like they have a revelation that changes them, or that, like, you know, this hard situation, you know, they've beaten all odds and now they're a better, grander person coming out of it. Nothing like that.
No, not at all.
You said that, what did you describe this, like, hospital climax as, like, messy or something?
It's just sloppy.
Sloppy. Yeah, sloppy. I thought it was just so fucking clumsy. Like, it felt like it was so, like, thrown together and, like, it didn't feel natural. No one in the hospital really reacts to this that's happening.
No, not at all. Like, at least in, like Halloween 2, the original, and the Rob Zombie one, at least, like, the hospitals were like, pretty much desolate. In this, we actively have staff running around, and they're just like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, what the fuck is going on?
They sort of react like what's happening here?
Yeah, they're acting like patrons on a New York City subway encountering some crazy. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, just don't look at them in the eye and we'll be all right. Like,
exactly.
Like, what the fuck? Like, this actively feels like they didn't have a proper ending for the movie, and the director panicked, and he was like, oh fuck, all right, quickly slap something together real quick. Like, that's how shoehorned in it feels. I will give one piece of credit. I thought Billy's death was kind of alright. I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was kind of fine.
But then when Billy dies, then it suffers of the same crime that a couple of movies that we've reviewed on the podcast suffer from, which is that it just sort of stops.
Yeah, legit.
Like, it's like, he dies, credits roll. It's like, mission complete. Mission, like, we've done it, we've saved the Earth, done.
Oh, it's insane. Honestly, though, I'll give the film credit, because at least it was over. At least I could then go to bed, because I would not have been able to take more of this crap. Like, fucking hell, man.
But then I got nothing for standing through it. That's the unsatisfying thing about this ending, is that you're like, I've withstood through this pain. Maybe I get a moment of some sort of, like, emotional climax, or a character realizing something, or like a really, really satisfying death. I don't know, like something to feel like that a character's arc has ended, but instead it's just, this story has stopped.
Yeah, exactly. And it's literally them rubbing their hands together and just like, well, that's the end of that chapter.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I'm going to work tomorrow now. Like, and Merry Christmas to you all.
Oh, my days.
So the first movie, the original ends with this terrifying reality of no matter what you're sort of doing, there being this threat around the next corner. Where this movie ends with, well, I guess the evil's dead now, and we can continue on. See ya. Whoa, what a shitty Christmas. I hope next year's better.
Worst Christmas ever. Oh, my days.
Yeah. You know what? if you don't have anything else to say, I think that let's just leave it at that.
I would like to say one thing, Rhys. That might piss you off a little. Maybe it'll piss you off, or who knows. But all right, so basically, a little fun fact that I learned after watching this movie is that it might shock you, but this film wasn't received well critically or financially.
It wasn't?
Yeah, it wasn't at all. Critics hated it, and it didn't make a lot of money. A lot of people didn't care.
Oh no! And I think that us not being able to find it on legal means to watch this film, which is like not even 20 years old yet.
Yeah.
I think that is very much a symbol that it's like, this has like been lost to history.
Yes.
Like, for it to be remade 13 years later, like them to be like, okay, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Is that it really is like, this is the forgotten middle child. It was a misstep. It was it's been forgotten and lost to history.
Exactly. But eventually, after this film was just, I think lost is a bit too kind to this movie. I think you mean more forgotten.
Yeah.
But basically, after this film was eventually going to be
no
forgotten.
one's searching for this besides us fucking weirdos. For something to be lost, I think if like someone is out there searching for this, no one is searching for this. It's been left in the fucking. It's been left in the attic with all the rest of the fucking Christmas decorations that are broken, the Christmas lights that don't work, that are never going to be pulled out again.
Exactamundo. And you and I, we don't care for this movie. You know who else didn't care for this movie? The original director, Bob Clark. He didn't care for this movie either. So after the financial and critical failure of this movie, Bob Clark actually began plans of making a straight-up sequel to the original with, him being the director and bringing back Olivia Hussey and John Saxon, aka Jess, the final girl, and, the main cop, bringing them back for a nice, almost like a legacy sequel to the original Black Christmas, with Jess being the new house mother. But, unfortunately, he did pass away before production could get off the ground, so we never got it. And
maybe he did kill himself. Yeah. He did die in 2007, April 2007. If this was released around Christmas 2006, maybe he watched it in theaters and he
just lost it. He just was like, he quoted Professor Farnsworth. He's like, I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Man, it is a fucking insult to say, I don't like this movie, coming from the man who had just made Super Babies 2 and Karate Dog.
That is oh my god, yeah, that is
literally. So the man known for making one of the like notoriously worst movies of all time of the modern era hates this movie.
I guess that explains why Glenn Morgan didn't make anything else after this. He was probably that butthurt by that comment that I guess he just hung his head in shame and just fell into obscurity. Damn.
Maybe. I love that trivia. You know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
I thought you were going to say, you know who else didn't like this movie? Elvis Presley. You know what? Technically, he didn't.
You know what? I can't comment on Elvis Presley's opinion. I really wanted to get Michael Jackson's opinion on this movie, but unfortunately, I'm not that close to his estate that I am with the Presley estate. So unfortunately, I haven't gotten the scoop on what MJ thinks about this. But look, if I find out by the time we get to the ranking, I will update you guys.
Oh, yep, fair. Elvis would be rolling in his fucking grave, mate. He'd be rolling in his grave.
He would see the abuse that Billy was getting subjected to by his mother. He'd be like, "Whoa, mama! Oh, this is a bit too far."
Billy.
Oh, dear
Why'd your mama do this to you? Oh, Billy.
Oh, yep. Serenade us, Presley, please.
Oh, he did. This is not what Elvis meant when he capstoned Rockabilly. It was not.
No. You know what? This movie and nothing else can dispute that. But perhaps this is just not what we were looking for. We still have one more shot at getting a good Black Christmas movie. So tune in next week. And Rhys,
worst Christmas ever. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page at MarathonMeOfficial, all one word, and our Instagram, MarathonMe_official, to keep up to date on the podcast. And hey, if you want to get into contact with us, email us at marathonmepodc, yes, the letter C, @gmail.com. Like podcast without the ask.